Well, hello everybody. I'm Mr. Alex with the Independence Public Library, and welcome back to another one of our Maker Mondays. And so today what we're going to be making is this really cool looking wind-powered car. And as you can see, it looks and functions just like a normal car. It's got a base, it's got 4 wheels, but the big difference that you might notice is on the top it's got this huge sail. And it looks kind of like a sailboat if you take a look, huh? But just like a sailboat, what this sail does is it catches the wind that's moving in a direction, catches the air, and lets it use the direction and the power of the wind to push it. And so earlier on when I started this video, you probably heard me turn on a hair dryer in order to push this. And you could use that, you could use a hair dryer, you could use the wind outside, you could use an indoor fan, or you could even use your own breath. Pretty cool, huh? So today I'm going to show you how to make one of your own so that you can play around with this cool wind-powered car and see how it works for yourself. So we're going to need cardboard. We're going to need at least 3 skewers or rods, so that way that we're going to be able to use them for the axle and for the sail. We're also going to need some construction paper that we're going to use for the sail itself. We're going to need some straws, either one really long piece that you can cut into 2 or 2 medium-sized pieces that we can use for to hold the wheels in. And of course some tape so we can put it all together. So let's get started. So first off, what you're going to want to do is take your cardboard and cut it into a base, probably around this size. It could be a different shape. You could make it like a triangle at the end. You could make it really anything as long as it's about big enough for the straws and the skewers to hold everything up. So I went with a pretty basic rectangle, which you can do if you want as well, or you can get creative with it and do something different. So we're going to start with our base, like so. And the first thing we're going to need to do is take our straws, and you're going to want them just a little bit wider than the base, like this. So if you put them on like this, they come off the base a little bit. Now that's important, and you're going to see why in a minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the straws on here with tape and put them about an equal distance apart. So if I put it here, I'd probably put it down here, which is about the same distance from the other edge. So let's do that real quick. Just a few quick pieces of tape will hold this straw in place. And time for the second one. And what you're going to want to do when you're putting this together like this is you're going to want it to be as parallel as possible. So if this one comes straight down this way, it should be the same direction as this one. There we go. So now what we're going to do is if you still have any more cardboard left, you're going to need to make yourself some wheels. Try to make them probably around this size and as circular as possible. The more circular they all are and the closer they all are to the same size and shape, the better your whole car will roll. So make sure when you're cutting them that you get them about the same size. So once you get them cut out, we're going to poke little holes in the center, and I recommend a pencil for this. But if your skewers are sharp, you can use those too, just be careful. And once we've got them like this, we'll poke one of our skewers right through one of them. Let's put it down kind of at the end. There we go. This is our first wheel on its axle. And we're going to put the axle right through one of our straws. Like so. And like that, we've already got one wheel down. Now that it's through the straw, we're going to take the other side of the skewer and poke the other wheel through. And once again, be careful with anything sharp. It's not too dangerous with just little wooden skewers, but you can still poke yourself, and we don't want that to happen. But as you can see now that we've got them pushed on, and you're going to want them with just a little bit of space away from the straw, and about equal distance apart with the skewer on both sides. So it kind of looks like you could cut it in half, and it would be kind of the same on the left and right. It's about what you want. So it's got a little wiggle, but not much. There's 2 wheels down. Now we're going to want to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to take one of our skewers, We're going to poke it through the center of one of the wheels, slide the opposite side of the skewer right there through the straw, and take the other skewer, making sure that the hole's big enough to go on it, and stick it onto the other side. And then as you can see, it's kind of uneven the way that this stick comes out so much further this way and this stick goes so much further this way. So you might want to make it more balanced by just adjusting things a little bit. So there's about as much skewer on both sides and that they're equal for the front and the back, like that. Okay, so now you can see we've got ourselves a car that can roll, but we don't have anything to power it short of us pushing it. So this is where the sail comes in. So like you see, we've got one skewer and one piece of paper left over. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our base and we're going to poke a hole right through the center. Might want to get it started with the pencil first, like I already did here. And then you're going to take your skewer and you're going to poke it through the hole like this. Deep enough that it gets stuck in there, like this, but not so deep that it's going to scratch on the ground if you roll it. Just enough, like this probably. And once it looks good to you, and that looks good to me, we're probably going to tape around the bottom here so that it can hold the skewer in place from the bottom so it won't slide through or it won't come loose or it won't come out. And just a few pieces of tape can do a lot to reinforce that if you make it wrap around the edges like that. Perfect. Still a bit wiggly, but we've still got more to do. We're also going to tape on the top. So like how we taped on the bottom right here, we're going to tape the skewer to the top of the base right here. Just a few pieces of tape around it. And it shouldn't take too much, but just use enough so that you feel like it's sturdy and secure. There we go. That's good. Now for the final bit, we're going to attach the sail on. So what we're going to do is we're going to want the sail to take up the most amount of the skewer possible so it catches the most wind, but we don't want it to come so low that it starts rubbing against the ground. So what I recommend doing is taking a part kind of low, like maybe right here-ish, and wrapping tape around it so that when you put the paper on, it can't go past that point. So I'm going to start wrapping tape around it right now, right around that point. Doesn't have to be too neat. In fact, it's probably better if it's a little out there, just so that means it'll be harder for the paper to get past it. There we go. So it goes up and down, it kind of stops there. Now what we're going to do, take our pencil or a skewer if you've still got one available, and poke a hole a little from the top there, and then take about that distance, right there, bring it to the bottom, and then poke another hole down there. This is how we're going to attach it. Now we're going to slide one of these sides in down here. And then we're going to curve it, slide the other hole on the top of the skewer. Oh, and that actually needs to be a little bit bigger for me. Whoop! There we go. And look at that, we are almost done. We have just, just a little bit more. We need to reinforce it a bit so it doesn't flop off like it just did. So just like you did to the bottom, you're going to want to wrap some tape around the top so it won't come loose the opposite way. It won't fly up if too much wind happens. But you're also going to want to tape underneath here. Basically every place that the skewer and the skewer and the paper touches, you're going to want to tape so that wind blowing doesn't completely knock it off course, or close it, or do something else weird to it. So make sure that you tape it to the skewer and you get it taped to the paper. You get it really, 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 really secured. Like this. There you go. It should be all good. You might want to secure it a bit more. You might want to play around with it. But as of right now, you know how to put it together. Oh, I was a little too tough with it. There you go. And as you can see, if I played around with it a bit more, I could probably get it to go even faster. So some of the things you can do, you can try cutting the wheels into different shapes, making them a bit rounder, maybe sanding them a bit at the bottom just to make it so they're really, really, really smooth, so they'll go when you blow into it. Or you could try a bigger sail. Would that catch more air, make it go faster, or would it slow it down because it's so much heavier? There's a lot of different things you could try. You could even try changing the base into a different shape. Maybe the triangle from before would make it go faster. I don't know. That's up for you guys to experiment, because you're all scientists out there, and it's cool to try things like this. So I really hope you had fun playing with this, and I really hope you enjoyed this Maker Monday. Tune back in 2 weeks from now. We'll have another really, really cool thing to make. But for now, take care, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.